She once said she could never love a black man, not because she hated, but because the world had taught her to fear. But one night, when her life hung by a thread, the very man she thought she could never love became the only one who could save her. This is not just a love story. It's a story about fear, courage, and breaking the walls society builds around us. Sometimes, love doesn't come the way we expect. Sometimes, it finds us in the darkest moments and teaches us that the heart has no color, only truth. She always believed love had limits, not because she wanted it that way, but because the world around her had taught her to think like that. She grew up hearing whispers, warnings, and judgments. Don't mix, don't cross the line. So when someone once asked her if she could ever love a black man, she didn't hesitate before saying no. It wasn't hate, it was fear. Fear of rejection from her own people, fear of being judged, fear of being different. She thought her heart had no room for such risks. Until one night proved her wrong. It was late, the city unusually quiet. She walked home alone, heels tapping against the pavement, her thoughts drifting. Suddenly a shadow emerged from an alley. A man followed her, his steps quickening. Her chest tightened. Panic set in. Just as she reached for her phone, another figure appeared under the glow of a streetlight. A tall black man, calm but alert. He didn't say much, he didn't need to. His presence alone made the threat vanish, the pursuer slipping away into the darkness. For a moment, she stood frozen. Gratitude and unease tangled inside her. She whispered a shaky thank you, and he gave a nod before walking away, as if saving strangers was nothing unusual. That night, she couldn't sleep. His image replayed in her mind, his quiet strength, his steady gaze, the way he appeared right when she needed someone most. But she shook it off. After all, what difference could a single moment make? The next morning, fate answered her question. At her favorite coffee shop, there he was again, sitting by the window with a book. She hesitated, heart racing. Then, against everything she'd ever told herself, she walked over and asked, "Is this seat taken?" His smile was gentle, his voice warm, and soon they were sharing stories over steaming cups of coffee. Hours passed like minutes. He spoke with honesty, with kindness, with a depth she'd never found in others. And she laughed, really laughed, for the first time in years. But outside the coffee shop, the world was not as kind. Friends noticed. Some whispered, others confronted her. Why him? They asked with sharp tones. Even her family's disapproval grew louder, filling her ears with threats and ultimatums. Her heart wavered. Could she fight them all? Could she face the rejection? One rainy evening, her doubts grew heavy. She walked alone, lost in thought, when headlights cut through the storm. A car sped too fast, too close. She froze. In an instant, strong arms pulled her back to safety. It was him. Breathless, soaked in rain, she clung to him as tears mixed with raindrops. "Why would you risk your life for me?" she whispered. He looked at her with unwavering eyes and said softly, "Because every life matters, especially yours." Something broke inside her then, not in pain, but in release. All the walls she had built, all the fears she had carried, crumbled in that moment. She realized love wasn't about color or fear or the opinions of others. Love was about truth, about courage, about who stood by you when the world turned away. From that day on, she no longer cared about whispers or warnings. They walked together, hand in hand, facing stares and judgment, but stronger than ever. She had once said she could never love a black man, but life, in its quiet way, had shown her not only that she could, but that she already did. Because sometimes, the love we fear the most is the love that saves us. She had once said she could never love a black man, but life proved her wrong. Because sometimes the love we fear the most is the love that saves us. And when it does, it changes everything forever.